Hi guys, this is Nikki, you also known as Thesis Trader. It's already October 28th, 2020. It's a Wednesday. And thank you for watching the Philippine Market Update. Let's discuss the things that happened today. In today's top traded, let's start with the most active names. Your converges up 1 billion, 14.5. So after going down to 13.2, it's already up 10% from that low. And it's still down about 16.8 minus 2.3. That's still more than 10% down from its IPO price. So it's just consolidating so far. It's trying to find a range. Tito Telecom is just unchanged from about 664. It's now 62. Your BDO is kind of unchanged at 92 pesos. SM Prime, 33.50 to 34, had a hard time. It's back to 32.50. It's just there. Merrimart at 350, just there. JFC 174, just there. Ayala Land 34, 33.85, just there. Pure Gold 42, not really much, really, just there. Semirara is down big, down 8% because Semirara had a 70% drop in their income. We will discuss how Semirara's earnings are. URC is unchanged, 1%, 140 peso. Your ASEN, typically just there, 388, 390, just there. Your FGen is very strong at 10% up, 29.3. That is a very strong move for first gen. And actually, it just is a solid renewable energy pick. So I am surprised of the 29 because typically at 27 peso, it's usually being sold there. It always gets bought at 22, 23, then gets sold at 27. This is actually a strong move today for FGen. We will try to see if there's news on FGen for this 10% pop. Your AGI is just there at 814. Your AC is just there, 760. Your DMC fell a bit, 447, after perhaps Semirara's not good disclosure on their earnings. And then your GGS is just there, 62.75. Metro Bank trying to crawl 1 peso at a time, able to break that 42, now trades at 43. However, can it break 45? Can it go 50 pesos? That is up for the market to tell us. MPI just there at 4. MRC crawling, 42 cents right now. Uptrend is intact for MRC, so it could consolidate, but also the trend is, your friend, still up. Security Bank 99 unchanged, Lucio Tan Group unchanged, so GT Cap unchanged, Bloom unchanged, CNPF just there, 1678. SM 965 had a hard time at 1,000. ICT 117 unchanged halos. Top gainers, let's take a look. Top gainers, so other than first gen, you've got which proper, okay, so one of the top gainers is your Shakey's Pizza. Shakey's Pizza is 680. Your Maxis was also up to 595. It's actually trading at 6 pesos right now. So the restaurant index, we were saying that Jollibee was going up. It will also trigger a move for your Maxis and Pizza. We actually believe in all three. We call them the JPM Trinity, J being JFC, P meaning pizza, M meaning Maxis. So this move on the restaurants is something that we are happy about. Awesome 10X believes in restaurants to be actually providing a 100 to 200% opportunity. Of course, if you bought them low. Of course, Maxis was just $4.50 when we were advocating them, even at 5 peso. At 6, you might say, okay, can it really go 9 to 10 pesos? The answer in our view is yes. That is, of course, when the market reopens sometime within the next year or so. So it's really going to take time. But the beautiful thing is that for those who wait, you will reap your rewards next year. Okay, PXP is just 3% up. Today, it's more of, it's not really very strong except for your restaurants. First losers, let's take a look. Okay, the biggest loser is Semirara. That is an earnings-related move. And then DMW, wala naman, 200,000, 1 million pesos. So not really. This one, Aboitiz Power, 3% down, 27.5. We'll try to study why they dropped. SM Prime, wala naman, 2 to 3%. It's just being profit taken from that 34 level. So, sige, let's discuss these numbers on your Semirara. So Semirara earnings front, there's news, of course. So Semirara income is down. This was last Last March, it was already down. So actually, last year, it was already down. If you take a look, since August, Semirara net income is down 61% in the first half. Semirara reports 43% drop in income. Semirara has been reporting losses for quite a while, So this drop on Semirara's income is not to be a surprise, except that it just shows you that the company will still have a problem in the realm of 2020 and 2021. So let's take a look on their earnings front. Semirara Mining News. News and articles. 2020. Okay, it's not here. Presentations. Okay, they only were, they didn't have it here. I saw it in our daily. There was bad earnings for investors on Semirara. I'll show you through the edge. It's probably here. So it's in our Wealth Daily. Wait, Semirara, material information, 5 most viewed disclosures. Semirara, Pure Gold, Security Bank, Nicolasia, Philex Petroleum. So those are the most important, most read disclosures. So let's read it all again to you. So Semirara's Q3 consolidated financial results, let's read it together. Semirara reported 3 billion net income for the first 9 months of this year. It's down 64%. The Q3 2020 results registered a net income of 750 million, down 71% quarter-on-quarter since 2019 of 2.58 billion. Coal segment in Q3 2020 was affected due to the decline in coal export prices, lower coal volume sold. Q3, coal sold is 2.7 million metric tons. This is 8% improvement in Q2 2020. But coal sales stood at 8 million from 12 million, or 30% drop year-on-year. Effectively, the average coal price is also down 20% year-on-year from 2,100 pesos to 1,700 pesos this period. Coal production isn't affected by COVID-19 pandemic with just a 9% drop year-over-year. Now, our power segment, the 2 by 150 megawatt under Southwest Luzon Power Generation Corporation was able to book additional contracted capacity of 150 megawatt, bringing its contracted capacity to 221 megawatts. Net energy generation has improved 80% from just 215 gigawatts to 389. Quarter-on-quarter basis is 30% lower than Q3 2019 of 550 gigawatts due to an unplanned outage incurred in Q3 2020. Net energy generation dropped 35%. Energy sold is 23% down year-on-year. It was affected by the ECQ in Q2 2020 and the unplanned outages incurred by both units. Composite average price is also at 2.79 peso per kilowatt from 4 peso 15 cents per kilowatt hour in the same period last year. On the other hand, Semirara Calaca Power Corporation was hit by a higher exposure to the WESM with a 32% contracted capacity, or 170 megawatts. Higher energy generation was achieved as 2 units were already operational after the completion of Unit 2 LEP. Excess energy was sold to the spot market. This energy generation improved by 33% quarter-over-quarter, also higher by 139% year-on-year from 968 gigawatts to 2,310 gigawatts per hour. Total energy sold is up 56%. Composite average price is at 2.77, down from 3.77 the same period last year. Coal profits of coal, they declined by 57% to 3 billion pesos. Meanwhile, SLPGC is down by 100% in core profits, declining to a negative 230 million from 2 billion pesos earnings last year. SEPC significantly turned around with 0.17 billion, or 120% improvement from negative 880 million as the life extension program was already completed. SMPC is the only integrated power producer that mines its own fuel source, allowing it to generate affordable baseload power. So I'll tell you why the market is unhappy with Semirara, other than the fact that, of course, it's down 70%. It's really because coal production is expected to have a limited timeline. It's probably about 10 to 15 years. And so SEC has to turn around the business in the realm of how do you turn around this company, which is a coal production company, to have more uh, businesses, power generation in non-coal sources. So actually, when you take a look at the carbon neutral movement, SEC is a 10-year companies that would actually buy coal, and less companies would want to source their energy from coal. So it's already fallen from 50 pesos to as low as 10 pesos. Actually, there might be people who might think it might even go down because can it go back to 8 peso? It was down to as low as 8 peso just during March, 880. So we don't see that there is a complete turnaround. Well, I personally think that there is no complete turnaround in the business. So there is nothing much to say except that the trend is your friend. In this case, the trend is negative. So the trend is really very low. Ever since 2018, it has been already proven by all the science that coal is not gonna be more profitable in the next 10 to 20 years, given that solar is the cheaper form of electricity. I can show you sources, or you can just Google it. Anyway, it's so easy to Google this. Solar cheapest electricity versus coal, versus wind versus hydro. Solar is now the cheapest electricity in history, confirms International Energy Agency, World Energy Outlook, cost comparisons ever since 2019. So it used to be that there was a high cost on solar. This is an old one, but the prices have actually turned the tables. You could actually see that the model price of falling price of solar panels, cost per dollar. So actually solar right now is actually as low as 1 to 2 cents, sometimes 3 cents, no? And versus coal, which is 6 cents per kilowatt hour. Uh, that inflection point happened in 2018. So the plummeting cost of solar modules actually has a huge effect on the coal natural gas ban. These are all 2012, 2010. So there is a change, of course. There's a huge shift. The world knows, even Joe Biden is advocating that fossil fuels will be discontinued in the next 10 to 15 years. So all that pollutant will actually have to change. So yun, I'm not here to say that Semirara isn't changing their business. They have. They actually did a lot. Let's take a look at their investors' presentations. Let's see whether they are trying to come up with programs to cushion the downside, because that will of course influence the next 10 years, not tomorrow, not next year, no? So actually you can search naman. Semirara has been actively plowing some money on renewables. So Semirara, share of royalty for renewable energy. They supply power to Mindoro. Semirara says coal business is dragging down the profit of Consunji-led Semirara. The Kalaka, the renewable push. So all that DMCI really needs to do is affordable clean energy. And they are really investing in that future too. So take note that they're operating a lot of safe renewable energy in other parts of the country. So yeah, they will do the cheapest in the world, well, in the Philippines at the very least. That is their core mission and vision. And we'll just have to see how much sustainable, actually, it should be in their presentation. Let's take a look at their presentation. Although these are, although what we can see here in DMC's presentation is August 2020, let's just take a look at this. So DMCI is the parent company of Semirara. So these are their businesses. They've got the mining, they've got properties as well, and they've got construction as well. So you could see that their key macros are, of course, down because the Philippine economy is down. Their business portfolio, they've got energy, they've got water, they also got some Nickel Asia, something like Nickel Asia because they've got the MCI mining. They've got the off-grid power, some homes, construction. So if you're looking for a more diversified company that is not just in the realm of energy, you might prefer DMCI. Actually, DMCI today fell, but in my view, in terms of potential recovery, DMC has the more attractive portfolio to cushion on the downside. So DMCI, you can see in the last 20 years, it has been existing in the market for quite a long time, since year 2001. It trades here, what price here? From about 16 centavo to as high as 17 pesos. So that is almost a 100x move. And because DMC struck real gold, black gold in coal before. Of course, the tide has turned since 2017, 2018. I don't think it will go back to those previous peaks. Nonetheless, the question is, after 20 years, is the MCI at 4 pesos worth your while, or is it something that should go 2 pesos or 3 pesos? The market has actually answered it for us. The market said that at 3 pesos, this company is not worth 2 pesos. It's worth at least 4 pesos, and so it rallied from 3 pesos to 4.40. The question today is DMC going to go 6 pesos in the next few years, or will it just stay between 3 to 5 pesos in the next 6 months? So is this a value after a 70-80% decline? Okay, that is the question that we want to answer. Let's take a look. Oops, sorry. Escape. Let's take a look at DMCI's profile. Their earnings contribution right now, as you could see, 50% is really contributed by Semirara. And then the other big chunk is your water, Maynilad. And then you've got a little on the nickel. And you've got a little on the power. But mostly coal, right? SMPC remains the main contributor. So established in a long time, 1954, the balance sheet. Cash is still there. So actually, to give you an understanding, despite the drop, at least it's still got 14.7 billion pesos in cash. So when you take a look at the market cap of DMC, it's easy. WealthSec has analytics. You can check it out. You go to PSEI or just go to the holdings, because DMCI is a holding firm. So you could see all the holding companies in the Philippines, i.e. the conglomerates. So go to the shares. You can see the market capitalization. SM is your largest, AC next, GGS. In the lower half, you could see DMCI. Where's DMCI here? It's not even here. Okay, here, sorry. DMC is 59 billion. So 59 billion pesos market cap today, and DMC has about 15 billion. So about 25% of the company is cash. They've got 18 billion receivables, so that's good. They've got a lot of inventories. They've got a lot of investments. The company says that they've got 200 billion pesos in assets. Therefore, it is, from a book value perspective, it is actually cheap. Although some people would argue that no, those inventories or those investments could actually be lower in the next few years. Those fixed assets could be lower in the next few years. So just looking at the cash and receivables, at the very least, 30 billion pesos, it looks to me that DMCI is rich in cash. And that is something that a business is very good. That's the good thing, that we could make a check mark on DMCI. Resiliency. Okay, they don't have debt. That is an opportunity that they can borrow money. The question is, if they borrow money, will they invest it in a good use case? So that's also something that we can look forward. They say that DMCI Homes, SMPC, they have huge credit line for growth opportunities. So I would assume that if the company has opportunities to grow, they will use those credit lines. So far, the lockdown battered their productivity, so net income fell. That is typical. At least it's still positive. At least it's not negative. Revenues is down. Okay, I agree with negative because COVID. They still provided a lot of work, so that's good. Infrastructure is where they are looking to go big. So historically, look at their order books. DMCI has a lot of buildings planned. Buildings is here. Infrastructure is this. Power is here. Utilities is huge, and JV. So this is something that we should take a look going forward in the next 3 years. How many buildings that will DMCI do? How many expressways? Joint venture with Acciona Construction, a Spanish firm, and First Balfour. Target completion date was December 2021. It could get delayed December 2022 or June 2023. We'll see. The project value is 20 billion. They have a commuter rail in Valenzuela, a partnership with Taisei Corporation, Japanese. Soler, they are the prime partner of Bloom to complete it. Probably December 2022 could be delayed to December 2023, a year after, given COVID. But the point here is that DMCI Consunhi is a contractor with many companies. High-profile projects, they're also doing this project with IKEA. They are the builders there. The NLEX, SLEX, the Estate Makati. So there's a lot of good stuff. COVID-19, they have no long-term debt. Their opportunity is to build, and they are the partner of choice for foreign contractors like IKEA. That's a good thing. Now with homes, I am proud to say that DMCI, although it's negative this year, take note that all your properties in the Philippines are also down. So you cannot blame DMCI. There's just really a lack of revenue to recognize, given the properties as a whole, from Ayalas to SMs, are all suffering. So the construction has to stop. They got to suspend it. So there's delays. So there's a lot of losses that are dragging the earnings. Nonetheless, they do believe, and I do believe, honestly, that DMCI Homes is one of the best property developers in the Philippines. They've got some projects that are slated that will continue after the pandemic, with a project with a total selling area, selling retail of 46 billion pesos, total sales revenue of 107 billion pesos. So they're launching new projects, nearly sold out. Land Bank of the Philippines, total valuation, ongoing projects. So when you take a look at their revenues, is DMCI a company that you believe will go 6 pesos or 7, 8 pesos? My answer for you, Awesome 10X, is gonna tell you that it's a yes. DMCI is a yes for me. No matter if you are believing in this in just 1 year or 10 years, I do think that the level of 4 pesos today of DMCI is a value play. So DMC is the play I'll make, not Semirara, but yeah, I will go for DMC because there's really a lot of other companies that have value. So because our time limit is done, it's 23 minutes, I will now answer any questions that you have. Mary Mart, Yahoo. Mary Mart at 350 is just there. So 350, 360. I don't see it going 5 pesos or 7 pesos. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it going 100% from here. MRC, well, 40 cents, 42 cents doing well. We see 44, 48 first resistance. Pure Gold, I have Pure Gold reported their earnings. It was down 4%. I don't think it's a problem, actually. Sige, let's read a fast earnings report on Pure Gold. Or I'm gonna just read it to you. Lumabas yung earnings ni Pure Gold eh. A good mix of defensiveness and growth. Profits are up. Improvement in profitability is key for re-rating. Well, okay, it's actually in our daily. So Pure Gold is reporting a down 4% in the earnings front, right? So here, ito yung report eh. Gross revenue from 39 to 39.8. Gross expense, non-operating income. Teka lang, let's take a look at their earnings. Their net income from 1.7 is 1.6. The beautiful thing when you're studying Pure Gold is that this is a cash-rich company. So currently, the market cap of Pure Gold is trading at about 120 billion pesos, if my memory is correct. Let me see, market cap. Pure Gold is trading at 120 billion there. Okay, so I don't think that Pure Gold will go down much. I don't see any problem. The company reported earnings that were flat, but that's okay because making about 6-7 billion a year is still great. Pure Gold makes how much in a year? Let me just check it again. Earnings news. Wait. Mm-hmm. Pure gold, all. Um, so it's, yeah, 1.7 in Q1. Let's assume that in a year it makes about 6 to 7 billion pesos. Yeah, so you are buying a company that is cheap, it is not expensive. I don't think that you'll get 100% if you buy it at 42. I don't think it's going 80 plus, but I think like it's just steady. You'll make money. It goes 47, 48. If it goes down, because it just goes down 40 pesos or 38, might as well just keep your pure gold shares. Vol is any actually for pure gold, I think that it can even go 50 to 60 if you're really just looking in the next future. People are just assuming that pure gold will not have a pandemic spike, that there will not be people hoarding. And I agree, because why will people hoard when they can buy from the store every week or every 2 weeks with reopening naman? Nonetheless, I think that Pure Gold is a stable company, so it's defensive. It's okay. It's just defensive. You'll make money if you buy low 41, 42, even at 38. You sell it at 50, 55, 60. You hold on. Vol, in any insight? I don't know much about Vulcan. I think there was news before that Vulcan was supposed to be Converge, but because Converge listed through the IPO, that means that Vulcan is just a non-company. So it's just a shell company for nothing. Tama ba? Vulcan, I don't think there's anything. After rallying to 3 pesos, it fell down to 78. It fell down because nothing is happening on Vulcan. It went to 3 pesos before because people thought that Converge was gonna go in, but it didn't, diba? Because it's an IPO. What can you say about DOE's announcements about no more new coal producers? Does it mean that it will benefit the current coal producer? I think what the DOE said is that they just simply want the Filipinos to recognize that we have to invest in renewable. So they don't want to reinvest their money, which I will agree. If they can invest in solar, if they can invest in wind, if they can invest in other wind like hydro, they can do that. So I think that is just to tell people that the Philippines will also not contribute to pollution, right? Because it's really more on renewable statements. Macro Asia, mega wide sa SMC. Teka, ang daming questions eh. FGen is LNG. Yeah, so LNG is also a provider of your power. So it's a natural gas. So I think the market likes natural gas. Jose is saying we still need coal-fired power plants for baseload. Actually, people aren't really assuming that coal will be zero. People are just trying to reduce the dependency on coal. I think I read some research reports that currently alternative energy is somewhere in the realm of like less than 20% in terms of production. 80% of our power is really coal-fired power plants. So it's really just a mix. Like people just want to do it 50-50. So parang, or hopefully turn the tide from making it 80% coal, 20% renewable, change it to about 40-50, 40-60. So it's gonna be gradual. Like I think it's gonna be taking place in the next 15 years. So that is really more of an away, because you cannot just close down your coal-fired power plants because people still need electricity. You can't just build a solar farm tomorrow and assume that that solar farm can supply everything Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. So it has to do more with we have to do as a world to lessen our dependency on coal. That is all that it means. What does PHR follow-on offering at 168 mean? Call replied, no allocation already. I haven't studied about PHR. I know that PHR is raising money for Clark. Clark is something that I am bullish upon, so I think that it's good. But as to pay 100% higher, because I think it's 3 pesos in the market, you don't need to necessarily pay 100% higher if people are able to buy nga at 1.68, diba? Miss Nikki, sana hindi pa tapos ang MRC in line with the approved mining in Tampakan and the much-awaited disclosure to become a holding firm. MRC is planning. I don't know if the restructuring is gonna, it's been restructuring and restructuring. They were saying that they wanted to do solar, they wanted to do a lot of these solar installation panels. You have to just follow the news, and whatever the news is saying, we just try to report the news. Totoo kaya ang PHR or baka matulad kay Converge? Ano advice ninyo dito? With Converge, I think that the market is mixed with this. Why is it a mixture? On the one hand, you would say that the valuation for Converge at 120 billion pesos is expensive given that it's not earning money. On the other hand, it is growing 10 times, like from 200,000 households to 2 million households. Granted that 2 million households can probably grow to 10 million households in the next 5 to 10 years. I think that there is a solid business case. But the thing about me is that right now, the Philippine market is not trading in bull market valuations. And you understand why. Because the Philippine market, the economy is bad. We have low income. We have no jobs. We have people losing their jobs. So, on that end, you have to try to be positive but also negative. You have to be neutral. You cannot be too bullish. But neither could you be too bearish. So I think you just have to be neutral, see the businesses for what they are. Like, for instance, people are bearish on DMCI. I'm different. I think that DMC at 4 pesos, it is a cheap company. You can actually buy it. But, people might say, why will I buy DMC when I can buy Semirara? It's actually for me, if Semirara goes to 20 pesos, DMC would go 6, 7, 8 pesos, right? So, I mean, I think that there are many ways for you to skin your cat. You can think about how you want to interpret your investments. Do you want to invest in the Philippines? Do you want to invest globally? At the end of the day, we just teach you how to invest, how to think. And I hope that Austin 10X is able to help you diversify and think thoroughly about your investments. Not about tomorrow, but actually, will you invest in DMC at 4 peso 50 cents, even if it goes 4 pesos or 4.1, 4.2? What will you do if DMCI went to 5 to 6 pesos? Will you sell? You have to think about those things. Why did you buy? When will you sell? And those types. So there. I think today, I think it's more fruitful to discuss DMC because in light of the Semirara earnings fraud. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Done.